Welcome back to the World Series. Welcome back to San Francisco in Game 5 of the 2002 World Series. The Anaheim Angels and the San Francisco Giants. Welcome to the booth. I'm Joe Buck. Tim McCarver in just a moment. Well, obviously a big win last night for San Francisco to even this series at 2 games apiece, coming back down early 3-0. The Angels' bats were finally quieted down a bit by the San Francisco pitching, and now as you look ahead, you may give the slight edge to the San Francisco Giants with the pitching matchups the rest of the way. And Tim McCarver, you look at this World Series, really the best pitched game that we've seen came in Game 1 with Schmidt and Washburn hooking up, and they have a rematch tonight in Game 5.
And when you look at the whole season, these two teams have played 175 games apiece. The one who wins the next 2 of 3 is going to be the world champion. As far as both managers are concerned, they're shying away from talking about Game 7, and it's understandable, because if they talk about Game 7, then they're conceding the fact that they're going to lose one of the next 2. As far as the pitchers are concerned, this is a good park to be the types of pitchers that are pitching tonight. They're both fly ball pitchers, and as everybody knows, the ball does not carry here at Pac Bell.
We have established that fact. This is Game 5. Away we go. We're glad you're with us tonight on Fox. Well, this World Series will come to a close in Anaheim, and these Giants fans are making some noise for the final time in 2002 Game 5 with this series even at 2 apiece. The Giants take the field, and it will be Jason Schmidt right in the heart of it all, ready to take on this Anaheim Angels lineup. Just as a reminder, coming into this World Series, something we talked about, the first World Series since 1989 for the Giants, since ever in 42 seasons for Anaheim, an expansion franchise in 1961. The last World Series title for the Giants, it came in New York in 1954 when there was a 4-game sweep of Cleveland. And active players with World Series experience coming in, only 5 for the Giants, none for the Anaheim Angels. Jason Schmidt ready to go. The winner of Game 5 in a series tied 2-2 has won 26 of the 39 World Series. That's on the line tonight as Schmidt gets ready. Here's the lineup for Anaheim. David Eckstein will lead it off. Darren Erstad bats second. Tim Salmon hits third in right field. Then in the middle, Garrett Anderson, Troy Glaus, and Scott Spezio, the first baseman. Adam Kennedy back in the starting lineup for Anaheim with Benji Molina, the catcher, and Jared Washburn, a career 5 out of 14 hitter, pitching and batting ninth. Here's Schmidt. Last couple times out in the postseason, Tim, he has been dominating.
Dominating against the Cardinals, and he pitched very well in Game 1 against the Angels. Fastball early in the count. That's where Benito Santiago has helped him this year, also early in the game. A vastly improved changeup that acts like a splitter. Wild high with the fastball early can be a problem, so we'll keep an eye on that.
As always, the broadcast is also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. And Eckstein is ready to go. We talked about the control problems, which at times can jump up and bite Jason Schmidt. That hasn't been a factor his last 2 postseason games. He walked only 1 in Game 1 of the World Series and only 1 in Game 2 of the NLCS when he worked 7 2/3 innings and allowed 1 run on 4 hits.
Nor was it a problem in his last 10 starts of the season. He won 7 of those 10.
All right, have you heard enough stats?
Yes.
Let's go. Let's play ball. First pitch, Game 5. Hello, strike 1. Eckstein, Erstad, and Salmon. This crowd is all juiced up in San Francisco, and so is that fastball, 96 miles per hour from Schmidt. And Eckstein got a whiff of it.
Get off my plate, says Jason Schmidt.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
You don't see this too often. Eckstein swinging through a pitch. Missed that 3 or 4 inches.
The numbers from the start in Game 1 for Schmidt. There's is Eckstein up to get a piece of that 97-mile-per-hour pitch. You would think that we will see more of the same that we saw in game 1 with this matchup, Schmidt and Washburn. The starting pitching in this World Series has been poor on each side. The exceptions have been these two. A little floater into center field, a 1-2 pitch, and Eckstein is on with a leadoff hit.
You can give in to a hitter in different ways. After 4 fastballs, a little slider to Eckstein. Santiago wanted it away, and Eckstein won the waiting battle.
Little swing by Eckstein, who's choked up on the bat. 2 strikes.
Little punch shot.
So a good sign for the Angels as the leadoff man is on, and Darren Erstad steps in. Had his 12-game postseason hitting streak snapped last night. It's a 4-3 win for San Francisco. And the Anaheim Angels, who got a run in the second, a run in the third, sent the minimum to the plate the rest of the night. Good work between Reeder, Felix Rodriguez, Tim Worrell, and Rob Nen. Check swing, and that'll get out of play. Strike 1. Lackey was the starter for Anaheim. He lasted 5 innings, allowed 3 runs on 9 hits, and there's a chance that he may be called upon to come back on short rest in game 7 if this series goes that far. Ramon Ortiz, 29-year-old right-hander, has tendonitis in his right wrist. Eckstein has drawn 2 throws. He has stolen 1 base in this postseason.
Eckstein a threat to steal. We've said it many times. Speed slows down the game.
To the right side. Not hard hit. And only 1 out. A force out 4-6. And the lead man, Eckstein, cut down on this play.
A good spin move by Jeff Kent. Throw it to the outside of the bag, and they just missed turning it. Nice play by Aurelia, reaching in, but the throw too late to get to Speedy Erstad.
Aurelia able to hang in there, reaching across his body for that throw with Eckstein bearing down on him. Now Erstad on with 1 out. And here's Tim Salmon. Salmon has had a terrific World Series, and the bulk of his damage was done in game 2. On the outside part, strike 1, 95 from Schmidt. 6 hits, 16 trips, 4 hits plus a walk in game 2, including a couple of home runs, the game winner in the 8th inning off Felix Rodriguez. Cannot hit Jason Schmidt up there. It's 0-2.
Look, you're either going to swing through it, pop it up, foul it off. This is a 4-seam fastball. Blazer.
Still 0-2.
You may have noticed the home plate umpire on that pitch. Santiago moved inside. He set up early. Home plate umpire Mike Riley moved inside. A lot of times an umpire will follow a catcher. Moving to the slot.
And a lot of that's for self-preservation.
Let the guy with the glove handle it.
Another 0-2 pitch to Salmon. Schmidt has stayed upstairs, and this time Salmon able to stay away from swinging at it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You get a shot of Erstad over at first base. And he was a college football player, but a punter who aren't typically known as intense players. When you watch Erstad take his lead, the face he gives and that intense look, really bearing down, trying to figure out Schmidt and get a jump if he can.
He's the most intense ex-college punter I've ever seen.
Easily. Draws a throw.
Same colors at Nebraska.
2 sports stars, Kenny Lofton, 6th man on the Arizona '88 Final Four basketball team. The kicker punter was Darren Erstad on Nebraska's 1994 NCAA football championship team. The 2-2 pitch. Salmon with 1 out. Fouls it back here. The Angels come in hitting .340 in the World Series and hitting .390 against San Francisco starters. Last night it was Reeder. The Angels knocked out Livan Hernandez in game 3 before he could get through 4 innings. And Russ Ortiz didn't get through 2 innings in game 2. Out.
This is a circle change. You can see that ring finger right there. When that finger is used on a pitch, it's going to be the changeup to get Salmon. The tighter the grip, the slower the pitch.
Now it's 1 on 2 out for Garrett Anderson, who has 6 hits in this World Series and 19 at bats. It's outside. Anderson chipped in last night, not only with his 2 hits and 1 run scoring, but with a play that he made down the left field line on a ball hit by David Bell in the 6th inning to tie game. Scioscia believes that Anderson, even though he's overlooked, is a Gold Glove caliber left fielder.
Comparing him this afternoon with a young Barry Bonds when Barry played with Pittsburgh.
A 1-0. And really it doesn't have a lot to do with the arm strength, but it's taking an angle to a ball. It's getting to a ball quickly, getting in a position to throw, which gives either Anderson a shot to throw a guy out or will stop a base runner after seeing the left fielder get to the ball so quickly. Anderson up to get it, and a base hit into left center field. Erstad will hold with a play in front of him. 2 on 2 out.
With the play in front of him and 2 outs. The outs dictate how you run the bases. This is Garrett Anderson yesterday on a ball hit by David Bell. Fielded in foul territory. You saw what a left-hander has to do, and yes, he got him.
Now Anderson gets a hit, the 2nd of this 1st inning for the Angels, and a scoring chance as Troy Glaus stands in.
How about that last fastball from Jason Schmidt? That thing was high. Garrett Anderson just got up on the first rung of the ladder and smoked it.
Glaus took Schmidt deep twice in game 1 in that 4-3 San Francisco win.
Army Joe, one a slider, the other an inside fastball.
Strike 1. Good speed on for Anaheim with Erstad the lead runner at second. Seven home runs this postseason for Gloss. 96, strike two.
A lot of young pitchers are reluctant to pitch power hitters inside, but you have to tie them up. Santiago sitting inside, and that pitch tailing, knocking Gloss down. That's all part of pitching.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. First inning, game 5 with the series even at 2 apiece.
Saw Santiago waving that index finger. That means you'll go through the signs again. After knocking Gloss down, I would imagine they'll go away. Nope.
Still a ball and 2 strikes. So Schmidt and Santiago went away from the oldest formula in baseball. Up and in, down and away. And we'll see if the Giants stay inside or go away from Troy Gloss here with 2 strikes. Away, but it missed, and it's 2-2.
I see him. Alfredo Griffin reminding Garrett Anderson to make sure he looks at Erstad.
Look at that shot from up above here in San Francisco, and down below in Pac-Bell Park. He's 28. He's left-handed, and he's taking on the Giants. Kenny Lofton will lead it off. Rich Aurelia, then Jeff Kent. Barry Bonds, Benito Santiago, and Reggie Sanders in the middle, with JT Snow, David Bell, and Jason Schmidt pitching and batting ninth.
Jared Washburn, 1-1. He was the starter against Jason Schmidt in Game 1 of the World Series. Also started against the Yankees in Game 1 of the Divisional Series.
Lofton, a big night last night for San Francisco, had 3 hits and a run scored. Makes ball 1. Coming into last night's game, Lofton was 1 for 12. As he stands in 4 out of 16, the number's a little better. Ball 2. An 18-game winner during the regular season was Jared Washburn. That's into right field and foul. 2-1. Heel of the glove, Tim.
Yep.
Got to make that play. Base hit left field. Lofton on to start the night for the Giants. Kenny Lofton on, a guard on Arizona's basketball team, which reached the Final Four in 1988. Lofton had 200 career steals and was a teammate of Sean Elliott and Steve Kerr. He did not play baseball until his junior year. And Kenny is on. Here in the bottom of the first inning, one of two athletes to appear in the NCAA Final Four and the World Series. Tim Stoddard the other.
To the surprise of many, Rich Aurelia has sacrificed in the first inning. He's done it 2 games in the postseason. Against a left-hander, I don't think that's a good idea.
He does show it and takes a ball. The other argument would be, with Schmidt pitching, the ability to shut a team down, and if not shut them out, slow them down. Getting an early lead and getting a run on the board might be beneficial. Just showing bunt on the first pitch. We'll see if the Giants stay with it. Change it up. The 1-0 delivery. They change, and Aurelia flies one into right center field. Long run. Erstad makes the catch, and Lofton is all the way around the second base bag. A race back, and he's there with 1 out.
Lofton had the better view. And he rounds the bag at second base. Right there. Now the view. He decides that's going to be in there. Oops. Turns on the brakes. Has to touch the bag coming back. And the throw toward the second base side. And Kenny's safe. Ball had too much hang time. Nice base running by Lofton.
It's another result of those wind currents you've talked about. The ball holding up out in right center field, and instead of getting down, it hung up, and Erstad made a good play.
Yeah, that's why it's good to be a fly ball pitcher in this ballpark.
Jeff Kent now. Runner at first with 1 out, no score, bottom of the first. Strike 1 from Washburn. Vote now using PCS Vision from Sprint, or log on to foxsports.com with our Sprint virtual manager question. How should the Angels pitch Bonds tonight? Walk him, challenge him, or work carefully to him? 1 on, 1 out. In for a strike, and obviously that question leads everybody to think about the situation.
Sure.
The situation dictates how Mike Scioscia and the Angels will pitch to Bonds last night, intentionally walking Bonds in his first 3 plate appearances because they could. 1 on, 1 out. Ball 1 to Kent. Kent, a frustrating night last night, especially at the start. At first and third, nobody out in the first inning and struck out. At second and third, nobody out and lined out. But then did chip in with a sac fly to right in the 5th. The inning in which the Giants got 3 to tie the Angels. Two and 2.
Interesting way of holding Lofton on. Getting off the base. The New York Mets, Bobby Valentine, that is the way he preferred his first baseman to hold runners on. Kenny kind of trying to peek around the right side of Spezio.
Just missed from 0-2 to 3-2. Away, the runners at first and second. Bonds coming up, and I think, Tim, the Angels are in a spot where they have to pitch to Bonds. The answer to the question: challenge him, and in this spot, with 1 out in the inning and the runners at first and second, I think they will at least pitch carefully, but come after Barry Bonds here in the first.
Well, a couple of things. Why wasn't Kenny Lofton running on that 3-2 count? Probably if Kent struck out, they wanted Lofton at first base. But if you can walk Bonds first and third with one out, as the Angels did twice last night, why can't you walk him first and second with one out?
A little high, but a called strike, and Bonds reacts. First at bat, game one against Jared Washburn. And an oh my home run from Barry Bonds to right. Runners at first and second, one out, no balls, one strike on Bonds. I think the difference is the lead runner was already at third.
Right, so you could score a cheap run.
As opposed to here, you're forcing the runner over to third and giving Santiago the easier RBI chance. 1 ball, 1 strike.
The Angel infield defense is different tonight. With nobody on, or a runner on at first base only, Troy Glaus would be at the shortstop position. The 3 infielders on the right side. So instead of having the left field area open, the shortstop area is open for Bonds.
2 balls and a strike.
The reason Glaus has to man his position is just in case Kenny Lofton runs. But he's not likely to run right here with Bonds up.
Washburn gave up that game 1 home run to Bonds. It was a solo shot. Washburn gave a shrug after that. And a little smile. Different situation here as Bonds rips one into right, and the Giants take the lead. Lofton will score. Kent will be held at third. RBI double, 1-0 Giants.
Jared Washburn changes speeds on his fastball by gripping the ball just a little bit tighter. He throws from 85 to 93. This was closer to 85 than 93. And that's why Bonds able to pull it in the corner, and Lofton scores easily, with Kent going to third in the same fashion.
Four hops and off the wall and right. And Barry Bonds gets an early chance. A reaction from Washburn. Now it's second and third, 1 out, and Santiago into left field. Kent will tag. The throw from Anderson. 2-0 Giants.
Santiago. Think about this inning. Not only was it important whether to pitch or walk Barry Bonds, it turned out maybe a walk would have been more prudent, but the walk to Jeff Kent really set up this 2-run inning.
I was thinking the same thing as you watch Kent score rather easily on the throw by Anderson. You can say what you want about Bonds hitting the RBI double, but what set it up, as Sanders will draw a walk here to put 2 on with 2 out, what set it up and put Bonds in a position to get a pitch to hit was Washburn losing Kent from an 0-2 count, running it full, and then bouncing a 3-2 pitch in to set up Barry Bonds. So an intentional pass here in the first inning, not to Bonds, but to Reggie Sanders. That'll bring in JT Snow.
We talked about the scouting report of Jared Washburn. He has great game awareness, but the key right here in the scouting report is the 85 to 93 mile-an-hour fastball. And what Bonds saw was a choke fastball. And because it was slower, then Bonds was able to pull it. That was more 85 than 93.
Now JT Snow. Snow hit a home run the opposite way in Anaheim against Washburn in game 1. 2 on, 2 out. And a strike hits the inside corner. JT Snow in last night's game got the leadoff base hit in the 8th inning against Francisco Rodriguez and scored the winning run on the 1-out hit by David Bell. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bonds the lead runner, and Reggie Sanders, who got the walk, is on at first. Two and one. A 2-run first inning for the Giants. A chance for more. It's up to Snow. And it's 3-1 with David Bell on deck.
This could be a similar pitch on which JT Snow hit the home run in Anaheim. Fastball away.
The bases are loaded. 3rd walk of the inning. David Bell will be the hitter. Bud Black is out to talk to Jared Washburn. Last night, the hero was Bell, coming up with a rare hit against Francisco Rodriguez, scoring JT Snow to make it 4-3, and that's how it ended. And now Bell with a chance to make this a huge first inning for San Francisco. Focus has been on Barry Bonds, but look at the others in the Giants lineup in this postseason. O'Reilly has hit 5 home runs. Santiago 13 RBIs. And the NLCS most valuable player, Lofton 16 hits. Snow with 16 hits. And David Bell, the man at the plate, with a game-winning RBI last night. Bases loaded, 2 out, ball 1. And Washburn is wild at the start.
And the deeper in the count he goes, the more David Bell can look for a fastball middle of the plate in his strength.
Bonds, Sanders, and Snow, the runners. Two and 0.
Normally with the pitcher on deck, you would be hitting 3-0, but the bases are loaded. No place to put Bell. So Bell will be taking here, one would assume.
3-1. On deck is the pitcher, Schmidt. bases loaded walk to David Bell, and it's been a 3-run first inning for the Giants. Prior to that at bat, Bud Black paid a visit to his left-handed starter Washburn and had this to say.
Get that leg up, bring it over the rubber. Gather yourself. Yes. Put your eyes on the glove. All right? Yeah. This is where you got to make a couple pitches now. You got to keep it right here. All right?
Now Schmidt, the pitcher, takes a strike.
What Bud Black was talking about, push off your back leg and don't drift. A lot of pitchers drift toward the plate. Stay back, release the ball.
A 4-walk first inning for Jared Washburn, who runs into 0-2 on Schmidt. He's a career 101 hitter with 14 RBIs. Barry Bonds, one of only 2 hits in this 3-run first inning for San Francisco. Inning over, but not before the Giants come up with 3. A hit by Lofton, a walk to Kent. Barry Bonds with a ringing double into the right field corner. A sac fly by Santiago and a bases loaded walk. And after 1 in Game 5, 3-0 Giants. 3 runs put up by the Giants in the first inning. Now the second. The Angels will have Spezio, Kennedy, and Molina. And Spezio after the first pitch, strike 1. He's got 5 hits, 15 trips in this World Series. You see that postseason average of .362. Schmidt got around 2 hits in the first inning. Spezio is in the hole 0-2.
Joe, how odd was that first inning? The Giants batted around. They walked 4 times, and one of them wasn't Bonds.
Because of the walk to Kent, Bonds got a chance to swing it, and as he has done all year when he put up a .370 average, one of the few times he saw something to rip, he did down into the right field corner. Spezio strikes out. That good Schmidt changeup.
Hitters have to cope with both the fastball that hard and the changeup that slow. It's tough. 3 strikeouts now for Schmidt.
Now it's Kennedy, who didn't start in last night's game, but came in the 9th inning as a pinch hitter for Gill. Took the first pitch from Rob Nen and singled into right. It's the tying run on base, but Fulmer bounced into a game-ending 6-3 double play. And a leg straightener from Schmidt makes it ball 1. With 1 out, Kennedy takes a strike. You look ahead in this World Series, and really question marks on each side with regard to their starting pitching selections. Easy for Snow, 2 out. Anaheim has Kevin Appier slated to go in Game 6 on Saturday night. You remember Appier couldn't hang on to a 5-run lead and lasted only 2 innings in game number 2, a game that the Angels eventually came from behind to win 11-10. And then if there is a Game 7, you've got San Francisco with Livan Hernandez scheduled to pitch. He lost 16 games this season and lasted only 3 2/3 in Game 3. Molina fouls it away, strike 1.
If there is a Game 7, it's a Brunswick stew. Both managers will throw everything in the pot.
There's an option for San Francisco, Reeder, and an option for Anaheim, Lackey. 3-0 here in Game 5 with the Giants on top. We're in the second. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Game 7 of the World Series. Every pitcher's a reliever.
A 1-1. Breaking ball in for strike 2.
Talked about a leg straightener to Adam Kennedy. Here's a leg straightener to Molina with the breaking ball.
Inning over. Strikeout number 4 for Schmidt. Giants bat, bottom of the second, up 3-0. Top of the order for the Giants, Lofton, Aurelia, and Kent against Washburn. Lofton singled in the first, and he pops it up here in the second. Playable. Eckstein. Long run. Can't hang on. He almost disappears behind the target.
He had the farthest way to run. And off the heel of the glove. It would have been a very difficult play for either Anderson, the left fielder, Glaus, or Eckstein. And David reaches too far. No error on the play. He had the best angle and dropped it.
Now Lofton takes strike 2. Jared Washburn tied a record with the 4 walks in the first inning. It's happened 10 times now. You would have to believe that nerves have something to do with that throughout history. As an 0-2. Lofton, another hit. 2 hits tonight, 3 last night. Starting the inning well for the Giants with Aurelia, Kent, and Bonds coming up.
The final piece to the Giant puzzle this year. Brian Sabean, the general manager, picking up Kenny Lofton with postseason experience on July 28th from the Chicago White Sox.
We said earlier in the playoffs that no matter what the 2 kids do, that Sabean and the Giants gave up to get Kenny Lofton. The Giants end up winning the World Series, and Lofton's a big part of it. That trade will always be justified by fans in this area.
Sure.
Brian Sabean, also unsigned past this year, as is the manager Dusty Baker. Sabean has been very open about the fact that he wants to remain here with San Francisco. Aurelia into right center field. Diving catcher. Stand 1 out.
Tough part about this play is Erstad had to dive where the ball was tailing. Ball hit by a right-hander, tailing into right center. Nice play, Darren Erstad. Tougher play for a left-handed thrower because you have to catch it across your body. Fine play by Erstad.
Gene Klein's the hitting coach. Thought Aurelia had his first hit of the night. That would have produced a run easily with the speed of Lofton on. Now it's Kent, who drew that important 1-out walk in the first inning to set up Bonds with 2 on and only 1 out. Realize that Barry Bonds and Jeff Kent barely speak to each other and have been surprisingly public about the fact that they don't get along at all. In the World Series, hitting in the number 3 and 4 spots for Dusty Baker. A lot of that has been smoothed over lately, but it came to a head toward the end of June in San Diego, as that misses low for ball 3, 3-0. Two difficult personalities, and the 2 clash in the clubhouse, but fit well for each other in this lineup on the field. And a 3-0 is in for strike 1.
Yeah, you don't have to like a teammate if you like what he does on the field.
Little different look than Eckstein gives you in the on-deck circle.
Yep.
1 on, 1 out, 3 balls and a strike. Kent into right field, well hit. Back is Salmon. Off the wall. Lofton will dig for third. They will hold him there. Second and third, 1 out. And first base is open with Bonds coming up. A double by Kent, opening up first base.
Tough right field to play. We talked about the wind currents last night. Fortunately for the Angels, it comes off the padded wall, hits Salmon in the right thigh, and stays there. Because of that, Lofton, who's not sure, only goes to third.
And here comes walk number 24 of the postseason for Barry Bonds. And no arguing this decision with the 12th intentional pass being handed to Bonds. It's already 3-0 San Francisco. And these seats are filled with fans who have brought chickens with them to the ballpark. There's ball 4 to load him up for Santiago. Our Sprint virtual manager question, with Washburn struggling here in the second, should Scioscia get the bullpen going? Bases loaded with 1 out, and Santiago with yet another opportunity to hurt the Angels.
Grounded into 2 double plays his first 2 times up last night, and delivered an RBI single his 3rd time up. Thing about Washburn, he only threw 8 ground ball double plays during the season. Again, a fly ball pitcher.
Into center field, a hit for Santiago. In to score is Lofton. The throw to the plate. Kent is safe. The runners move up to second and third, and it's 5-0 Giants.
That if you watch enough baseball games, you see something you had never seen before. And on this play, I see something that I've never seen before. The underthrow of Molina hits Reggie Sanders, who is telling Kent to get down on the right foot. Check this out. Joint.
Now Sanders gets to swing the bat with runners at second and third, the infield in.
I think because no damage, no further damage was done, the umpire's ruling is to leave the runners where they are. But if it goes in the dugout, it would have been interesting to see what the ruling was. It would have been.
1 ball, 1 strike. Virtual manager answer is yes, and Scott Shields may make his first postseason appearance as he gets loose. Washburn getting knocked around in the first 2 innings. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Sanders. Off Santiago's bat, a single, 2 RBIs, E8 on the throw that got away to allow Santiago to get down to second base. 2-2 on Sanders.
You have a 5-run lead on a ground ball to the infield, even though the Angel infield is in. You really should send the runner from third base. Got a left-hander on deck. You have a 5-run lead. You're willing to take a chance.
Into right center field. That's deep enough to score Bonds. He tags and scores. Santiago tags and goes to third. It's 6-0 San Francisco.
Game 3, the Angels batted around 2 consecutive innings. The Giants are sending their 16th hitter to the plate, and we're only in the second. Santiago easily to second as Bond scores the 6th run.
Ball 1 to Snow. Runner at third, 2 out. One ball, 1 strike on JT Snow. An intentional walk to Barry Bonds in this inning. And then a 2-run single by Santiago, who was 8 for 22 following a Barry Bonds walk in the postseason with 11 RBIs. Strike 2 to Snow. Just outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. RBIs in the first by Bonds, Santiago, and Bell. And here in the second by Santiago again and Reggie Sanders. Snow trying to pick one up from third with 2 outs. And a good rip. Full count. Should end the inning. Shallow left center. Erstad will put it away. And the Giants are finished in the second. Another 3 runs put up. Eckstein couldn't catch the foul ball, and then Lofton later in that at bat started the 3-run rally with a base hit. Santiago delivers after the walk to Bonds, and after 2, 6-0 Giants. The Rock. Alcatraz.
Kind of reminds you of April 15th. Make sure you pay your taxes.
Here's Jared Washburn, the pitcher, staying in to hit. Ball 1 high from Schmidt. Washburn, a career 5 for 14 hitter. 357 average, 2 RBIs, and a strike on the outside corner. Eckstein will follow, and then Erstad. Shortstop, Aurelio. 5 in a row retired by Schmidt after getting around a leadoff single and a 2-out single by Anderson in the first.
Only in the 3rd inning, and with Mike Scioscia allowing Washburn to hit here in the 3rd. He is certainly concerned about the bullpen, the overuse of the bullpen, even though they have the off day tomorrow. But Washburn a good hitter. We even talked about it between innings, saying maybe it would be right to allow Washburn to hit and then still bring in Scott Shields. That way you save a pinch hit in case you get close.
Eckstein with 1 out. Takes the ball. Erstad next. 2-0. That's wide. 3-0. Again, one of the strengths for Jason Schmidt this postseason has been limiting walks, throwing strikes, as he delivers a 4-pitch walk with 1 out to Eckstein to bring in Erstad, who made a diving catch in the bottom of the second to rob Aurelius, something that Angels fans are used to seeing.
I take more pride in defense than I do in anything. Anytime you can pick up one of your teammates, be it a pitcher, you know he's out there battling, and the least you can do is try and catch the ball for him. So I guess from an offensive side, we know how important 90 feet is, and defensively, you take that same mentality. You don't want to give up 90 feet anytime you can stop that.
Erstad takes ball 1.
Taking away 90 feet at least.
That was the catch on Aurelia in the bottom of the second. And the Angels players will tell you that their team leader is this guy, Darren Erstad, who has 1 error in his last 271 games, and the Angels have had 2 of the best center fielders in the game patrol that spot. Jim Edmonds and Darren Erstad. Close to the last 10 years. 1-0 pitch. 1 on, 1 out. That's 6 straight that have missed from Schmidt.
Remember the scouting report, wild high. That's the danger with Jason Schmidt.
Runner going on a strike right down the middle, and Eckstein figured that Schmidt wasn't paying any attention to him and just steals his second base of the postseason.
David Eckstein's mom and dad are teachers in Sanford, Florida. And Mike Socia, before the game, talking about his intelligence. His mom and dad have taught him well.
On 2-1, Erstad, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Often referred to as the brain. 3 of his siblings have survived kidney transplants.
Remarkable as well.
A guy who was put on waivers by the Red Sox in the year 2000. Now the kickstarter in this lineup for the Angels is Erstad waits. And a little jam shot, shallow left, might drop. It does for a hit. Eckstein will hold at third, first and third, 1 out. A walk, a stolen base, a floater into left, and Salmon's coming up.
The Giants came from 5 runs down against the Angels to take the lead in game 2. Now the Angels trying to do the same thing, even though they trailed by 6. There is no defense in the world that can allow a player to catch that ball.
So now Salmon is all of a sudden the Angels have a chance to take a bite out of this 6-run San Francisco lead. Good pitch on the outside corner, strike 1. In game 1, Salmon was hitless against Schmidt. First time up, struck out. Runners at the corners with one away. And in the dirt. Scooped up by Santiago. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And in game 2, Joe, World Series fans and baseball fans will remember that Reggie Sanders hit a 3-run home run against Kevin Appier on an 0-2 pitch to put the Giants right back in the thick of things.
Doesn't seem to matter what the score is, what the situation is. Mike Scioscia turns his base runners loose. Erstad, a guy that he trusts. And Schmidt is not going to fall asleep this time as he did with Eckstein on earlier in the inning. That's low. 2 balls and a strike. Top of the order, setting up the heart of the order for the Angels here in the 3rd inning. Salmon up on the count, 2 balls and a strike. Now it's 2-2.
That was a 2-seam fastball, usually down in the strike zone. 4-seamer is up in the strike zone.
Erstad running as Salmon fouls it away. Have you seen a more aggressive team on the bases in the postseason than the Angels?
No, not. Thing you might want to do if you're an infielder, you have a 6-run lead. If the runner runs, hold your position. Don't cover the bag. In essence, you're giving up the run on third base and Eckstein, but you're trying to prevent the big inning.
Another 2-2. 2 out. Salmon strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. 5 strikeouts for Schmidt.
That was the 4-seam fastball. Up in the zone, gets Salmon.
Now the inning is up to Karen Anderson for the Angels. Anderson singled back in the 1st, took a 95-96 mile-an-hour fastball that was way up out of the strike zone and hit it into center field. That's strike 1. .123 RBIs during the regular season. Anderson nearly hit by the pitch. Gets away, but not far enough for Eckstein to score. That's ball 1.
Santiago fortunate to just have the ball hang up in the web to slow it down.
It's been a long year behind the plate for Benito Santiago at the age of 37.
His 176th game this year in a Giants uniform. He hasn't played all of them.
Throw over and Erstad back.
There's that very deceptive throw over given by Santiago.
Might as well just yell it out.
Yeah, just, yo, Jason. Yo, Jason. Throw it to first.
Here's a 1-1 to Garrett Anderson. First and third, 2 out. Another changeup from Schmidt. And the Giants are a strike away from keeping it 6-0. Blocked by Santiago. It's ball 2.
That was a terrific play. We talked about it earlier in the series because of that accident that Santiago had in '98. He has a difficult time with that right knee. Usually that's his trail knee. He'll get down on his left knee easily. But that accident that kept him laid up in the hospital for about 3.5 months. Severely damaged right leg. And here he is 4 years later, catching in the World Series. What a story.
Middle part of the year was an all-star for the National League. Garrett Anderson, first and third, 2 out. Into right field. Sanders inning over. Jason Schmidt into and out of trouble. He's racked up 5 strikeouts. He has shut out the Angels on 3 hits. And after 2.5, 6-0 San Francisco. The Bay Bridge all lit up on a Thursday night. Here in San Francisco, a breaking ball is in for a strike to David Bell with Schmidt on deck and then Lofton. Washburn has had 2 long, rough, poor innings. To the left side in the hole, Eckstein, no chance. Base hit. Already 6 hits to go with the 5 walks that have been handed out to the Giants.
Nice effort by Eckstein. Too much to do to get anybody. Maybe running through your folks' minds that would Schmidt bunt right here with a 6-run lead? Absolutely. It's only the 3rd inning. The Angel offense. Giants have seen how important that offense is.
Good bunt by Schmidt. Down to second, Bell. Sacrifice good, 1-4. October's magical matchups continue this week with Fox NFL Sunday, beginning with America's #1 pregame show. Then it's history in the making as Emmitt Smith needs just 93 yards against the Seahawks to break Walter Payton's all-time rushing record. Or the Cardinals take on Terrell Owens and the 49ers in an NFC West showdown with first place at stake, or other regional action. All part of a full weekend of magical matchups, critical NFL games, and baseball's World Series takes center stage only on Fox. Kenny Lofton, a big reason why the Giants are up 6-0 in this game. Takes a strike. Led off the first with a base hit. Scored a run on the double by Bonds and led off the second with a hit. And scored on the 2-run single by Santiago. Adam Kennedy takes care of Lofton, 2 away. That'll bring in Aurelia, who's 0 for 2. Aurelia and Schmidt, the only 2 not in on the fun so far for the Giants, and even Schmidt got down a bunt in this 3rd inning. Runner at third, 2 out, 6-0 Giants, and that's kept at the plate by Molina. center field, well hit. Back near the track is Erstad to end the inning. That'll do it for the first 3 here in Game 5. It's 6-0 San Francisco with this series even at 2 wins apiece. The World Series on Fox is brought to you by Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. If you take a step back and look at the big picture of what's happened in this World Series, the 11 runs put up by Anaheim in Game 2 to outdistance the Giants, a final of 11-10 and even the series 1-1. Then Game 3, the Angels came in here and put up 10 runs on 16 hits and stranded 15 runners. Only the 3rd team to score 10 or more runs here at this park against the Giants this year. And it looked like the Angels were going to have their way here in San Francisco. They get out to a 3-0 lead early last night. But then from the 4th inning on, the Giants pitching staff faced the minimum. And tonight, they've shut down Anaheim in the first 3 innings and lead 6-0 while they start to put up the runs. It's been a complete reversal as Gloss takes a strike. And we're underway in the 4th inning. Gloss, Spezio, and Kennedy. Molina, the number 8 hitter, if anybody gets on, and then the pitcher's spot. No balls, 2 strikes on Gloss.
Some of our opening remarks before Game 1, considering the pitching on both teams, obviously the bullpen's very, very important to Mike Scioscia, to Dusty Baker. But last night, a gutty performance by Kirk Reeder after he gave up 3 runs in the 2nd and 3rd inning. But the starters in this series have not done well at all. The Giants enter, even though Schmidt tonight is strong, the Giants enter tonight with their starters an earned run average over 9, and the Angels with their starters an earned run average over 8. That's got to go up with 6 runs scored off Washburn.
Leading off in the 4th inning, Gloss strikes out. 6 strikeouts for Schmidt. You can support your favorite team with a Major League Baseball Authentic Collection Premier Jacket featuring ripstop nylon and micro fleece lining.
Right.
Call 1-866-MLB-GAME or visit MLB.com to order now. Ripstop nylon.
Right.
Here's Scott Spezio. And there's strike 1.
Another odd thing about this postseason in all of baseball, 8 teams started, then there were 4, and now there are 2. No shutouts. Not one shutout in this postseason, but Schmidt has one here.
One ball, 1 strike. On top of that, coming into the World Series, in every series, division, LCS, the team with the home field advantage going into the series lost. The Angels with the home field advantage going into this World Series, and the count 2-1. These and other nutty facts are available on FoxSports.com. Here's a 2-1 to Spezio. 2-2.
We have more nutty facts.
Uh-oh.
Last night ended the players' participation in the money that they will earn in the World Series. The players only participate in the first 4 games. Bud Selig, well aware of that.
The 2-2. Spezio, a good job to lay off that changeup, and it's a full count.
Winning share this year should be somewhere around $325,000, I would think, for each player.
Spiezio stays up there. What was the winning share back in the 60s?
1964, $8,600. Don Fear knows that in the white sweater there. It's gone up dramatically since 1964.
Cash that check.
Yeah. Long time ago.
With the bases empty and 1 out, Spiezio hits it foul.
Oh, he got it.
Come on, knock us out.
Well, a lot of folks may not know that the players share in only 60% of the first 4 games. Another 10% to the umpires' assessment fund, 15% to the commissioner's fund, and only 15% to the ball clubs involved. But tonight, 85% goes to the ball clubs involved.
Spiezio draws a 1-out walk. Second walk issued by Schmidt tonight. 1 on, 1 out with Kennedy coming up. And now with a little action going, the Anaheim bullpen will start to work again. Shields again. He was warming up back in the second. The Giants got 3 runs in the first inning. RBI double by Bonds in the mix. Sac fly by Santiago and a bases loaded walk to Bell. Santiago again in the second with a 2-run hit and a sac fly by Sanders. Ball 1 to Kennedy. Here's a guy who hasn't pitched in 3 weeks. Scott Shields, as Dave Righetti will jog out and talk to Schmidt.
I think one of the messages from Dave Righetti to Jason Schmidt: walks create multi-run innings. Got the bottom part of the order, perhaps a pinch hitter, no more walks.
This Sunday, Emmett goes for the record against the Seattle Seahawks, 93 yards shy of the NFL's all-time rushing record. That's on Fox NFL Sunday as Kennedy grounded out to first. He's 5 out of 15 in this World Series, waits for a 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Terrell Owens. A Sharpie tucked in his sock. And a hat on, hanging out here at Pac-Bell Park. That's too far inside. Did that incident get you all hot and bothered with Terrell Owens signing an
When he
autograph?
signed the football? Nah. Not really.
Man, they're talking about you on Fox.
Terrell, get your Sharpie out right now.
Here's a 2-1. That's foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You're on television. It's the World Series.
The lady in front of him.
Stealing Terrell's thunder by standing up.
The guy's on TV every weekend, and he's all charged up about getting on TV. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 on, 1 out. Schmidt to Kennedy. Foul ball. Kennedy has got one of the more unique swings. Not a big guy, but he has a full-blown uppercut swing.
It's like he straightens up. You were talking about how Schmidt straightened up Kennedy last time. He goes from a crouch to a straight up and down swing. Seems to swing over a lot of pitches. That's why he hooks a lot of balls in the first base dugout.
Another 2-2 from Schmidt. Like that. Sounded like Kennedy broke his bat, and he did. He'll go get a new one. And is in no particular hurry to do it. So Santiago will walk out and talk to Schmidt. They asked Jose Molina, the brother of Benji Molina, two catchers for the Anaheim Angels, what the presence of a guy like Santiago means at his age, being such a vital part to the San Francisco team. Benji Molina, who's on deck right now, his brother Jose was actually on the Cubs team when Santiago was there. So we got a chance to learn from him directly. Runner goes as Kennedy fouls it, and one of the questions was answered in a pregame press conference that the Molina brothers all tried to copy how Santiago threw from his knees. He did it as a rookie back in 1987, and he still does it today. What, 15 years later? One on, one out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kennedy trying to fight his way on. It's the second out and the 7th strikeout victim for Schmidt.
You don't see too many hitters swing through a low fastball, but it gets Kennedy.
Now Benji Molina, who has the thrill of guiding this Anaheim team and the pitching staff through the World Series, and do it with his brother as his backup, Jose Molina, who we have not seen in this World Series. 1 on, 2 out, and that's popped up to the right side. Here's Benji talking about the thrill of going through this October with his brother by his side.
You go back and think about when you were little kids and you're playing Nintendo and you're playing outside in the yard. You don't even imagine you're going to be in the same team in the World Series. I mean, it's something else. It's an experience that I hope it lasts forever. And I know it will. So it is something out of space, man. It's just great.
No balls, 1 strike. Benji pops it up, and that'll stay in play. Kent wants it. Kent has it. And the inning is over. A 1-out walk to Spezio. And now the Angels have left 5. It'll be Kent, Bonds, and Santiago for the Giants in the bottom of the 4th. They lead it by 6. Jeff Kent first up, bottom of the 4th. And a check swing. He didn't go. Ball 1. Kent, then Bonds, then Santiago. Giants getting exactly what they hoped for out of Jason Schmidt. The Angels are not out of Jared Washburn, as Kent gets under one and flies into Salmon and right. 1 away. We talked about what happened back on June 25th in San Diego between Jeff Kent and Barry Bonds. For fans watching the World Series and aren't familiar with the history between these two, the 2000 NL MVP and the 2001 NL MVP came together at the end of the 2nd inning. Kent had come into the dugout and was critical of David Bell on a throw that he made in a double play situation. Bonds sticking up for David Bell, and the two came face to face. They had comments made to the press about one another, and to be honest with you, Kent is more public and open about not getting along with Bonds and vice versa. Kent has done long articles and made comments, not shying away from the fact that the two who anchor the 3-4 spots in this lineup don't really speak. The 2-0 pitch, Bonds. 2 balls and a strike. In fact, Barry Bonds has said on the record that he believes and really hopes that the Giants will sign Jeff Kent.
That's right.
To a contract extension. He's a free agent at the end of the year. The 2-1 pitch. Check swing and a little pop up. Into left field for Karen Anderson. And Bonds retired for the first time tonight.
That was Stan Conti, the trainer, by the way, who was between Kent and Bonds. I think people had a tendency to think that there was more to that because it was so public. But there are an awful lot of, and they genuinely do not like one another, but there are an awful lot of things that go on between teammates over the course of a season that are never made public. Things in the clubhouse, things on team buses, on charters.
2 out, a strike is in at the knees to Santiago.
The famous fight on the charter of the Athletics back in the early 70s between Angel Manquel and Blue Moon Odom. And they were struggling, hot at one another, had each other in a vice grip. Reggie Jackson said, leave them alone. Neither one of them are going to help us anyway. When Dick Williams tried to break it up, one of the great lads to defuse the whole thing. Said, they're not going to help us. Let them go at one another.
These two guys are obviously the two vital members of this lineup. And again, it goes back to, I think, the credit that Dusty Baker deserves running this team. Getting these egos and these personalities to get along well enough to be productive on the field. He gives everybody their space. We were in his manager's office tonight when he was handing back fine money that he took earlier in the year from one of his pitchers. He didn't identify, but he said, look, I missed some flights in my day. This guy missed a flight or a team bus. He's won a lot of games. We're in the World Series. I'll give him his fine money back. And really, it's that touch that Baker has with these players that makes him invaluable to this Giants team. Santiago clumps one to left field. If it's fair, it's gone. It is foul. Benito Santiago, a couple of feet away from his 3rd home run of the postseason.
Little body English.
We also talked to Dusty about his policy in the dugout and on the field during batting practice and around this team. He has his young son Darren, a 3-year-old around him, and the team is at home. Darren, by the way, is 7-0, going on 8-0 when bat boying for the Giants. He says, I just like it. It keeps us loose in the dugout. I've always wanted to have a son, and to have a son around me in the dugout, these are days that I will never forget. Nor will Darren, the 3-year-old. He stays hot, and the Giants are on a roll tonight. They lead 6-0 after 4. Back after this from your local Fox station. We move into the top of the 5th inning, 6-0 here in game number 5. Well, you look fantastic. Huh? Hey, what do you want?
I didn't expect you to say that.
I know, that's why I said
I know it.
So Dusty Baker, is he moving on after this year? He talked about it before the game. They asked him, Dusty, when he woke up this morning, did you think about this potentially being your last day in the Giants dugout here at home in Pac-Bell Park? And he said, yes, I thought about it, but it's not a time to be melancholy. We've got a chance to win the World Series. We'll deal with that later. So he doesn't really give on any of that. He doesn't say, well, we'll just see how it is at the end of the year. I think Dusty at one point was turned off by the way the Giants handled the situation and may end up elsewhere next year, or it's been talked about lately, might take a year off and kind of clear any health issues and clear his mind and then start fresh in what, 2004.
That story of Dusty Baker, conflict of sorts with Peter McGowan, the principal owner, was spawned in a San Francisco Magazine article about 2.5 months ago.
Palmeiro gets his first hit of the postseason as he rips one off the wall in right. He's going to test Sanders down 6-0 and make it. Orlando Palmeiro batting for Jared Washburn starts this 5th inning off with the Angels' first extra base hit of the night.
First hit in postseason It looked like a changeup that was down. Orlando hammers it to right field. And even though the Angels 6-run down, they have still been aggressive on the bases. This is a very tough ballpark in which to come back. Most parks you say, get a couple of guys on, and then boom, a 3-run homer will put you back. In this park, once again, only 114 home runs over the course of the season, the fewest in the major leagues.
Runner at second with nobody out. Eckstein makes the ball low.
Do I think Dusty Baker will be back? No, I don't. I think Dusty Baker will end up as the manager of the Seattle Mariners next year.
I agree. And that comes literally with us having never talked about it with Dusty Baker down in these managerial meetings that baseball provides us with during the postseason.
Reported today that Lou Piniella, the ex-Seattle Mariner manager, has signed with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, and that Art Howe, formerly with the Oakland Athletics, has signed a 4-year deal with the New York Mets.
Runner at second, nobody out. Ken Maka. And as the musical chairs start shifting around, he's going to take over the reins with the Oakland A's, and then that takes a potential candidate away from Milwaukee, Chicago, and other spots where there's an opening. Maka has been hot property. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That's the third foul. 2-2 on Eckstein. It's going to be interesting to see if Baker isn't back, how the next manager, whoever he is, handles Barry Bonds with this Giants team, because Bonds is on his own program with 4 lockers, his own stereo system, his own recliner, keeping to himself for the most part around this San Francisco team. Here's a 2-2 pitch with a runner at second, nobody out. Another foul by Eckstein.
Dusty Baker, tremendously popular in the San Francisco area. 10 years at the helm of the Giants.
Outside of his father, he'll tell you the man who had the biggest influence on him as a baseball player was Hank Aaron. He got a chance to play with early in his career, and at one point batted behind Hank Aaron.
Dusty Baker was on deck when Hank Aaron hit home run number 715.
Here's a 2-2 to Eckstein again. And a third under the glove or off the glove of Bell to put 2 on with nobody out. A double by the pinch hitter Palmeiro. And now that ground ball, which finds its way into left field to put runners at the corners.
Peck, peck, peck. Here come the Angels. First and third, nobody out. That ball took a tricky hop and over the thumb of the glove of David Bell. So it's going to be a hit because of that hop. Second hit for Eckstein, who's been on base 3 times tonight.
Did a little shaggy move from Scooby-Doo, spinning his feet. His first couple of steps couldn't get there. And then that tricky hop, it is indeed a base hit, a double, a single, and now Erstad with Salmon and Anderson to follow as the Angels could make this interesting here in a quick hurry. First and third, nobody out. And that's driven into right field off the end of the bat. Palmeiro will tag and score, and back to first is Eckstein as the Angels are on the board at 6-1. A sac fly by Erstad.
That sacrifice fly made both teams happy. The Angels score a run, and the Giants want the out.
Now Tim Salmon will be the hitter. Salmon has struck out twice tonight. Last time he did it with runners at first and third and only 1 out. Up the middle, base hit. Eckstein will turn and try to go to third. The throw by Lofton is too late. It's first and third, 1 out on a hit by Salmon.
taking advantage of the weak throwing arm of Kenny Lofton. The only part of Lofton's game, that in power, that he doesn't have. Kent diving for this ball, goes under his glove, and Eckstein makes it to third. High throw by Lofton, too much of an arc. Bit of a gamble, but not much. That jump from first base allowed him to get to third base.
And with one out this early in the game, it's worth getting over to third. It's first and third with Garrett Anderson and Gloss coming up. David Eckstein going first to third, as these Angels have done the entire month of October. Here's David Eckstein talking about it.
That's something that was stressed from day one in spring training, that if you ever have the opportunity to go first or third, you're going to take the opportunity. If you get thrown out, you get thrown out, but you always be aggressive. You don't ever want to stop at second when you can have the opportunity to go to third, and that comes straight from first.
Straight from Social.
Excuse me, Joe. Anytime you have a ground ball between the second baseman and the bag, go to third. That's a rule of thumb.
So it's first and third with one out, and Garrett Anderson at the plate. Strike one. Virtual manager questioned by Sprint, and the answer, should the Giants re-sign Dusty Baker, 78% say yes. Those in the 22%, I'm guessing, are logging on from Los Angeles
or Seattle
or Colorado or San Diego or Arizona. Here's an 0-1. That gets behind Santiago. Great break by Eckstein, and it's 6-2. David Eckstein on his toes, ready to run, and that ball, if it got on the grass, barely got on the grass behind the plate, and it's a 4-run game.
On his right foot. When the ball is in the hitting area, you're on your right foot, ready to move. David Eckstein gets a base hit to set up a run at third, and now with some super base running, scores the Angels' second run.
It's a wild pitch.
Watch how he's leaning on that right foot, walking lead, boom.
Now a runner at second as Salmon advanced, and Anderson strikes out. 2 out. Strikeout number 8 for Schmidt.
So here the Angels score a run on a strikeout. Eckstein going to third, setting up, going home on the wild pitch. So even though Anderson becomes the 8th strikeout victim, Eckstein created that run.
Chad Zerbe, who was so good in game 2 for the Giants, getting loose. Now it's Gloss. Ball 1. Donnelly getting loose for the Angels in their bullpen. It was Shields earlier. Now that it's a little tighter, only a 4-run game, Mike Scioscia is not going to run Scott Shields out there for the first time in a month. He has not appeared the entire postseason, and it's 2-0 on Gloss.
What Schmidt was doing to Troy Gloss, his first 2 at-bats, throwing him fastballs up and in. He has struck out twice swinging. Now it becomes a different matter because Gloss is ahead in the count.
Salmon at second, 2 out. A 4-run Giant lead. What a swing by Gloss, and it's 2-1.
Well, he just missed that fastball out over the plate. 7 home runs in the postseason. A fat one to hit, and fouled it back.
Gloss and Bonds each with 7. Low, it's 3-1 with Spezio on deck. if you're Schmidt, how frisky do you want to be on a 3-1 count? The guy who's hit 7 home runs in the postseason, leading by 4. Good pitch inside part, belt high, full count.
That pitch did not give Gloss a chance to extend his arms. It crowds him on the inside corner.
Pop back here.
Look at Troy Gloss. Ted Williams used to say you could smell the ball coming off the bat.
Drilled into left field. Back at the wall, off the wall. In to score is Salmon. Down to second is Gloss, and it's a 6-3 game. Only because of the roof of that car out in left field did that ball stay in play and not leave the park. It looked like it was high enough to get out, but because of that ad out in left field, the ball that Gloss just hit stayed in play instead of making it a 2-run game. Let's see if that is the case. Maybe about rear view mirror high.
Yeah.
Yep. So it was over 3/4 of the way up the wall, but it stayed in. And now Gloss at second with 2 out for Spezio. And a hit could make it a 2-run game. Salmon with a hit in the inning. He scores on the double by Gloss, who hit a laser into left field.
A predictable pitch selection count. Gloss fouled off the 2-0 pitch. He fouled off the 3-2 pitch before he hammered that double. I don't know how that one smelled, but it sure tasted sweet for Angels fans.
Largest deficit they've overcome to win, 5 runs. The Angels have done that 3 times. That includes game 3 of the division series against the Yankees. That was in Anaheim with Messina pitching. It's a 6-3 game. Runner at second, 2 out, and a 1-0 pitch. Spezio off the end of the bat, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Oh, you mentioned the Yankees. It was the Yankees who trailed the Atlanta Braves in game 4 of the 1996 World Series in the 6th inning. They trailed 6-0. They scored 3 in the 6th, set it up for the Leyritz home run, and then won it when Wade Boggs, the last available regular player, walked with the bases loaded in extra innings to win it 7-6.
Washburn, the starter, is finished. Lifted for the pinch hitter Palmeiro to start this inning, and he started it with a double. Eckstein, a big part of it again. And the 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Runner at second, 2 out. And now that's ball 3.
That was either a changeup or a breaking ball on a 2-ball-and-1 count. 2-ball-and-1 ball count. So now the Angels, even though they trailed by 6 coming in, have Schmidt pitching defensively.
Already up over 100 pitches. This game is only in the 5th. Left-hander Zerbe is loose with the left-handed hitting Kennedy on deck. The 3-1 to Spezio. That's ball 4 down and in. 2 on with 2 out. Kennedy coming up, and Baker is coming out. That's the 3rd walk of the night by Schmidt, and that may be his last pitch of the evening. Dusty Baker has not made the call to Zerbe. Now he has. And that's it for Schmidt, who cannot get through 5 innings despite a 6-0 lead after 2. It started with a pinch hit double by Palmeiro. Eckstein involved. Salmon involved. Eckstein scoring on a wild pitch. And then Gloss. It's a 6-3 game, 2 on, 2 out. Zerbe coming in. Chad Zerbe into the game, 2 on, 2 out. Adam Kennedy takes ball 1. Zerbe in game 2 was outstanding. He ended up going 4 innings out of the bullpen, allowing 1 earned run, 4 hits. Runners on at first and second with 2 out. Kennedy. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Giants got 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second. The Angels have put up 3 here in the 5th. Gloss, the latest RBI. A walk to Spezio. And that was the end of the night for Schmidt, who lasts only 4 2/3. Still responsible for the 2 on. Good pitch, strike 2.
Breaking ball for a strike. I don't think in the regular season Jason Schmidt would be pulled from this game. This is not the regular season.
1 out away from having a chance to get a win. Zerbe tries to finish the top of the 5th. That's foul. And Kennedy breaks another bat. Eighth man to bat in the inning. Tying run at the plate for Anaheim. Kennedy with 4 home runs this postseason. Into center field, Lofton back, and the inning is over. The Angels climb back in and knock out the San Francisco starter Schmidt. Zerbe gets the final out. A 3-run 5th for the Angels, who trail by 3. Brendan Donnelly takes over his 9th game this postseason after Washburn went the first 4. Our in-game box score brought to you by Chevy Trucks. The Giants, Lofton has been a big part of the 2 3-run innings. Jeff Kent with a hit. Barry Bonds with an RBI double. An intentional walk, 2 runs scored. Santiago with 3 RBIs tonight. And Reggie Sanders with an intentional pass and a sac fly. Here's Sanders now leading off the bottom of the 5th against Donnelly, as Molina is going to go out and talk.
Checking the scorecard, the pitcher spot is due up 2nd in the 6th inning. And it was a straight move by Mike Scioscia to put Donnelly in the game. So this could be the only inning Donnelly works.
Ball 1. Sanders was intentionally walked back in the 1st inning. That backfired on the Angels, as Washburn followed that with a walk to JT Snow to load him up, and a bases loaded walk to David Bell to make it 3-0. Ball and a strike. Just proves how things are different in this World Series for Reggie Sanders than they were in the NLCS. Lefty, righty didn't matter. The Cardinals were coming after Sanders, who was only 1 out of 16 in that series.
And admitted that he was pressing in the LCS.
Pretty good rip at that pitch, but in the hole 1-2. Then you think about how he started this World Series. Sanders homered in game 1, walked, singled, scored a run. And in game 2 hit a 3-run home run, had another hit. There's the turnaround as he leads off the bottom of the 5th. One-two pitch, 2-2. Snow will follow, then Bell. If anybody gets on the pitcher's spot. Another good swing by Sanders. Giants trying to go back to work, leading by only 3, and Sanders hooks one down the left field line. In the corner, foul.
That landed in about the same spot as Benito Santiago's foul ball. Hooking. That same area.
Everybody getting fist on it. But it went foul, and now Sanders strikes out. Here's JT Snow. Ball 1. Snow is walked and flied out. Five for 16 in this World Series. That caught the corner, according to Mike Riley. Not JT Snow, 1-1. Off the front foot or leg. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
JT Snow wearing that half shin guard on his front leg, and he hits the ball off his back leg. You don't see that too often because most hitters hit the ball out in front of the plate. In order to hit the back leg, you have to be fooled on the pitch and hit it behind the plate.
So the count 1 ball, 2 strikes with 1 out, nobody on. Donnelly with one idea and Molina with another on what to throw on 1 and 2. And so they'll talk.
Talking about Dusty Baker, he is such a Jazz fan. He will talk to you about Jazz as long as he'll talk to you about baseball. What an area for that. All the musicians, the great musicians that have come from the San Francisco area.
It's really how he rates a lot of the cities that the Giants visit during the course of the season. How good is the music? Here's a 1-2 pitch. Pitch falling away, and Snow is the second out here in the bottom of the 5th.
That looked like a splitter that acted like a screwball. Either that or a two-seam fastball to get J.T. Snow. That ball going away from Snow, and it was a splitter.
So now with the bases empty, here's David Bell. Tim mentioned it. Anaheim in the 6th inning will have Molina, the number 8 hitter. Then Donnelly's spot will come up. And then Eckstein. Donnelly doing his part, trying to keep it a 3-run game.
Now Felix Rodriguez going down to warm up for the Giants. Perhaps if David Bell gets an extra base hit here, Dusty Baker with a chance to drive in another run. Oh boy. Right above the left knee of J.T. Snow. It was a slider or cut fastball right on the side of the thigh. JT has had knee problems.
Bell takes a slider for a strike, and it's 1-2. Going to be a long night for both bullpens. Donnelly, the first of many for Anaheim, and Zerbe had to relieve Schmidt. Who would have thought with the way Schmidt started this game and with that kind of a lead, 6-0, Schmidt would not be able to get through 5. Zerbe came on to get Adam Kennedy. Strand 2 runners on in the top of this 5th. Bell with 2 out, nobody on. Able to get a piece.
The thing about Brendan Donnelly, he does not throw a lot of balls down the middle of the plate, in and out. We talked about east and west and how effective pitchers could be throwing outside, inside. Donnelly does it very, very well.
Pitching this series, the starters for the Angels, a 9.14 ERA. Giants almost 8 3/4, and the relievers, no surprise. The bullpen, a big reason why each team has advanced to the World Series. The 2-2 pitch to the right side. Spezio, and the inning is over. And now we move to the 6th inning. Bengie Molina first up. Benji Gill is in the on-deck circle. And a ball up and into Molina from Zerbe. Dad tucking in Darren Shirt while Zerbe serves out the leadoff base hit up the middle. David Bell fouled out to end the bottom of the 5th, and little Darren Baker had a reaction that at one point early in Dusty's life got him kicked off his own dad's team. And little Darren got rid of the helmet in frustration, in disgust. Dusty was cut from his dad's Little League team 3 times, twice for throwing equipment. Darren will learn that lesson eventually from Dad.
Yes, he will.
Here's Benji Gill, 1 on with nobody out. Gill batting for Donnelly, who went 1 perfect inning with 2 strikeouts. How much are we paying that guy, Dad? We need hits. Bag of grapes and a front row seat. The 0-1 pitch to Gill. Lined into center field. Lofton back. It is off his glove and to the wall. Going to third, Molina. Into second is Gill. And it's second and third, nobody out.
Ball misplayed by Kenny Lofton. It is often said the ball right at the center fielder, the toughest ball to field, but Lofton hesitated. 1001, 1002, a ball that should have been caught. And now the Angels are knocking like the Giants did last night. They had twice the hill to climb. On Ortiz going. This gives him a real chance right here. As you can see that hesitation on Lofton. He didn't pick that ball up right away.
How about Benji Gill now 8 for 12 in the postseason. Started last night in place of Kennedy because of the left-handed starter Reeder and was 2 for 3. And he pinch hits here after the hit by Molina, a double, and it's second and third, nobody out for Eckstein, who has been on base 3 times tonight with 2 hits and a walk. Because Erstad is in the on-deck circle, Zerbe stays in to face Eckstein.
A guy like Eckstein, nobody out. If he hits the ball to the right side, you score the runner and move the runner at second to third. We saw Eckstein do that the other night with 2 strikes. Move the ball to the right side. 2 for the price of 1 if he does it here.
On the inside corner, Eckstein, hit by 27 pitches during the regular season, is right on top of the plate. And if one is headed for him, he doesn't give. That's a foul ball as it hit off Eckstein while he was in the box. And we'll take another look as Santiago comes out from behind the plate with his palms up saying, hey, wait a minute, that ball didn't hit Eckstein. Let's see if it did. Yep, caught him on the left shin.
Yeah, that's a spot that a catcher can't see.
Angel Hernandez was the one who came down and made the call.
A very good call, too. He had a better angle than the home plate umpire.
Second and third, nobody out. A ball and 2 strikes on Eckstein. To the plate is Molina. Out at first is Eckstein, and the other runner, Gill, advances to third, 1 out, and it's a 2-run game. There's Eckstein making it out, but a productive out as both runners advance.
2 for the price of 1. Molina scores easily. Benji Gill, again, the rule of thumb, if you're the runner at second base, the ball is hit at you or to your left, you go to third, and Gill did. Good job by Eckstein.
So now it's Erstad with a runner, Gill at third, and only 1 out. A long meeting between Jeff Kent and Chad Zerbe finally breaks up as the home plate umpire Mike Riley was on his way out. Schoenweiss will take over for the Angels in the bottom of the 6th. A 6-4 game. Slow roller, right side, 2 out. And the runner Gill has to hold.
What a play by Zerbe. Not only tagging the runner, realizing maybe that if he goes to first base, Gill could score. Gill comes off a bit. Now if Zerbe goes to first base right there, maybe Gill could score. But by tagging him, no chance. Great reaction by Zerbe. Watch him look toward third.
Huge out picked up by Zerbe as he will exit. A double switch. Felix Rodriguez is coming in. So Zerbe holds the runner at third. It's still a 2-run San Francisco lead with Felix Rodriguez coming in. The double switch has Tsuyoshi Shinjo out in right field, batting in the number 9 spot. Pitching and batting 6th is Felix Rodriguez.
Interesting double switch, because that means Shinjo will lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. And the minute Mike Scioscia found that out, he got Ben Weber up. And while Rodriguez was warming, Weber was warming. So it could be the right-handed Weber instead of Schoenweiss.
Right now it's Tim Salmon at the plate representing the tying run, facing Felix Rodriguez, who we took deep for the game-winning home run in Game 2. Runner at third, 2 out, ball 1. Bottom of the 8th, a 2-out, 2-run shot. That made it 11-9 and ended 11-10 after the Bonds home run. Gill with a pinch hit double in this inning, off the glove of Lofton in center. 6-4 Giants in the 6th. And it's 2-0 on Salmon. Felix Rodriguez has been involved in every game of this World Series. Salmon looking for a pitch to drive on 2-0. With Garrett Anderson next. Last 40 games, including the games in October, a 5-1 record with an ERA of 1.66. The one loss came compliments of Tim Salmon, who hits one to third. One hop to Bell. Inning over. The Angels draw 1 run closer. A hit by Molina. A pinch double by Gill. And the RBI ground out by David Eckstein. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 6-4 Giants. Bottom of the 6th inning, Shinjo leads it off, and Ben Weber, who just started to get loose, as Tim mentioned, when the Giants brought in Felix Rodriguez in the top of the inning, deals strike 1. That's foul. Straight up 8 o'clock here in the West, 11 o'clock back east. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver, Michael Weissman, Bill Webb, our director. A game that started out with the Giants getting 3 runs in the first inning. Bonds with an RBI double and a run scored. 3 more in the second. Staked Jason Schmidt to a 6-0 lead. It's now 6-4. And we're only in the bottom of the 6th inning of Game 5 with this series even at 2 games apiece. 9th game this postseason for Weber. Shinjo, Lofton, and Aurelia for the Giants, who lead 6-4. Still 1-2. Inside corner, 1 out. Kenny Lofton will step to the plate. 5 hits in his last 7 trips to the plate. He's been hitting line drives, and he dropped down that all-important bunt in last night's game. The infield hit, his first last night. The clean single through the right side, and then the bunt for the hit. It was fair. Foul, and then fair when Bloss touched it. And tonight 2 more hits to start the first, to start the second. He scored each inning. And now he bats with 1 out, nobody on in the 6th. Takes a strike as he was backing out, taking all the way. Third time through the order, the Giants 0 for 9. After pounding Washburn early. Now 0 for 10 as Lofton is retired for the second time.
Meanwhile, the Angels are trying to do to the Giants what the bullpen of the Giants did to the Angels last night. Donnelly for one perfect inning, and now Ben Weber has retired the first two he's faced in 6.
Again last night in game 4, the Angels got 1 in the second, 2 in the third, and then Reeder, Felix Rodriguez, Tim Worrell, and Rob Nen faced the minimum the rest of the way. Here's Aurelia with 2 out and nobody on for the Giants, who lead by 2. Slider misses, ball 1. The Angels in the 7th will have Anderson, Gloss, and Spezio against Felix Rodriguez. Bullpen not active for the Giants at the moment. Off the glove of Gloss for a base hit.
Gloss off the line, the ball hooking back to him just off the webbing. In a weird way, if the Angels get Jeff Kent out, it could be good for them, because now you face Bonds, and I would imagine Schoenweiss would face it with nobody on base.
Right now, Schoenweiss is not warming up, which is interesting. With Bonds on deck, 1 on, 2 out. Strike 1 on Kent. Schoenweiss was getting ready last inning. I'm sure it wouldn't take much to get him loose again. But depending on what Jeff Kent does here, maybe in a spot. Unless Mike Scioscia's already made up his mind that here in the 6th inning, no matter what, the Angels are going to put Bonds on and work to Santiago. I guess that's the conclusion you have to draw, since Schoenweiss is not getting ready.
Yeah, even if the Giants have runners on at first and second.
1 on, 2 out. And Kent into left field. Anderson back at the wall. It's gone. Home run, Kent. 8-4 Giants.
Flat breaking ball from Weber.
Now an 0-1 to Bonds with 2 out. Into left center field. That ball's going to plug the gap and scoop to the wall. Bonds has his second double of the night.
Bonds shooting one into left center. Why is Mike Scioscia going to walk Benito Santiago? Because Felix Rodriguez, the pitcher, is scheduled to hit in the 6th hole.
So the intentional pass is Weber almost uncorked a wild pitch on ball 1. This will put 2 on with 2 out, and right now Sean Dunston is making his way to the on-deck circle to bat for Felix Rodriguez. means that Tim Worrell, who is loosening in a hurry, is going to have to come in and work in the 7th, which is a bit earlier than he's used to.
Maybe 7 and 8.
On the home run by Kent, the hitting coach Gene Klein's wearing a mic.
Joe, a lot of pitchers talk about the fact that from the stretch, they can't get the break on their sliders or curveballs like they can from the windup. They don't have a high leg kick. That could have been the problem with Weber then. You can see Molina setting up outside, and we have said before that when a catcher is off the plate away and moves the glove back toward the middle of the plate, generally it spells trouble for the pitcher. And it was big trouble for the Angels as Kent hit the 2-run homer.
Sean Dunston came out, was going to the plate, and then was called back to the bench. And it was nothing more really than a stall tactic. They talked to Dunston to allow Tim Worrell more time to get loose in the bullpen. 2 on, 2 out. Dunston takes a strike. Tim Worrell is just now starting to work to the bullpen catcher down in a crouch after finishing long tossing to try to get his arm loose on this cool night. Felix Rodriguez's spot, the number 6 position, came up in a hurry here in the 6th inning. It's 8-4 Giants. Game 5. Strike 2 on Dunston. Bombs the lead runner. Santiago the trail runner after the intentional walk, and it's 0-2 on Dunston. Still 0-2. That's foul, and this is bat by Dunston. Even if it doesn't produce a hit, it's certainly given Tim Worrell time enough now to get loose.
You're right. Everything starting so innocently for the Giants here in the 6th inning. 2 outs and then a single off the glove of Glass by Aurelia, and a 2-run shot by Kent.
Ball 1 to Dunston. Part of the kids crew in the dugout for the Giants. Dunston strikes out. During the regular season, Jeff Kent hit 37 home runs, one of the most productive second basemen in Major League Baseball history. Here in the Giants' 15th postseason game, he gets his 2nd home run. opens the lead back to 4 after 6. Back after this from your local Fox station. We move to the 7th inning here in Game 5. Aerial coverage of the entire 2002 World Series courtesy of Saturn and the Saturn Lightship. Keep your eye on the sky when the Saturn Lightship visits a major sporting event near you. 7th inning now. Joe Buck and Tim McCarver. And Tim, it looked like we're starting to slip away from the San Francisco Giants. Jeff Kent steps up and takes the biggest swing of the night so far in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, after the single off the glove of Troy Glaus, the 2-run home run by Kent, his second postseason home run. Hit it off Ben Weber.
And now the Giants may ask for 2 innings out of Tim Worrell tonight. Usually save him for the 8th, but having to lift Felix Rodriguez for the pinch hitter Dunston. It's Worrell in the 7th. He falls behind Anderson 2-0. Glaus and Spezio, the next 2 hitters. Already 11 games this postseason for Tim Worrell, who has 3 wins. He was the winner last night when he pitched a scoreless top of the 8th, and David Bell got the game-winning RBI in the bottom of the 8th. Anderson pops it up. Third base side. Long run Bell. Here's Glaus, who's doubled home a run and struck out twice against another right-hander, but a very different type pitcher, Jason Schmidt. Schmidt cannot be the winner in this Game 5. He did not last 5 innings. Strike 1.
Tim Worrell, elbow transplant surgery in 1995.
On Glaus.
Tim was a starter then. This one getting a piece of Benito Santiago. Continues to get rattled around back there. Off the mask and then off the shoulder. The one off the shoulder hurt. Like a pinball machine.
Here's an 0-2 to Glaus. That's a let's stay at the plate swing from Troy Glaus. It's still 0-2.
That's also the spot that Tim Worrell has had a tough time throwing to right-handed batters and even to left-handed batters, is outside because he can't finish his pitches since the surgery. That one off the plate away.
Another 0-2 pitch. Here's a 1-2 pitch again to Glaus. 2 out as Glaus strikes out.
After 3 fastballs, the changeup gets Glaus. A little different look right there. You could see that changeup again gripped by the ring finger. Whenever that ring finger is involved, the changeup's coming.
Now it's Spezio, who has walked twice and struck out. strike on the outside corner. The rally monkey. Going through some tough days here in San Francisco. Espizio grounds to first. Snow will take it. A perfect 7th inning from Tim Worrell. Time to stretch in Game 5. The Giants will bat. They lead it by 4. Snow is walked, flied out, struck out. Strike 1. JT fouling a ball off his left knee. His last time up, not moving around very well. Ball 1.
See those 2 dark strips on the back of JT Snow's shoulder? That's when he swings and misses or swings and fouls one off. And that pine tar off the white uniform.
Up the middle, through Weber and into center field. Leadoff base hit for Snow.
He didn't swing and miss that one. Fastball away. Weber trying to field it, the comebacker. A little late.
Now David Bell. See how the Giants want to play it with Bell. Leading by 4 in the bottom of the 7th. Shinjo, the number 9 hitter, on deck, and then back to Lofton. The Anaheim defense is back on the infield. Bell shattered his bat. And fouls it for strike 1. That's, guess what, 2 nights in a row that jagged piece of baseball bat went sailing down in the direction of Troy Glaus.
Last night, David Eckstein, stepping in front of Glaus, could field the ball with that bat hit aimed right at Troy. David Bell with a game-winning hit in the 8th inning last night.
Coming into this game, the Giants had only 4 hits from the 7th inning on in this entire series. 2 of them came in last night's 8th inning. The last one off the bat of David Bell. 7th here, and JT Snow has started it with a single up the middle. One and 2. The Angels in the 8th inning will have Kennedy, Molina, and then a pinch hitter. (8-4) in Game 5, with Game 6 on Saturday night in Anaheim. Russ Ortiz and Kevin Apier, the scheduled starters. 2-2. There's Ortiz, who did not fare well. The Encino native who grew up an Angels fan. In Game 2. And Bell is hit. 2 on with nobody out. Gene Kleins was handed that broken bat, David Bell, and had this to say.
It's amazing.
I can certainly understand Troy Glaus earlier in the game smelling the barrel of the bat when he fouled one off. But I will have to ask Gene about that one. Smelling the handle. I don't That was earlier when Troy Glaus looks at the barrel of the bat. Ted Williams used to say the seams of the bat, when you foul one off, caused friction.
Now the bunt from Shinjo's foul.
That two guys in uniform smell different bats today. Might be a World Series record.
Shields is getting loose for Anaheim in the Angel bullpen.
Shinjo may be bunting even with 2 strikes.
Here's an 0-1 pitch. And the bunt, perfect. The runners advance to second and third. The sacrifice good, 1-4.
A beauty right here. Shinjo slipping, coming out of the box. But no harm done. The sacrifice easily executed by Weber.
So now it's second and third, 1 out. The infield comes in as Kenny Lofton steps in. 2 hits in his first 2 trips. Grounded out his last 2 times up. And that one gets behind Molina. And Bell was almost 3/4 of the way to third base when he figured out that Snow was not coming to the plate.
And it was a very alert play by J.T. Snow, because the ball came right back to Molina. Snow is not a fast runner, but Bell anticipating. Ball off the glove. It looked like a cross-up from Weber. And watch David Bell. Naturally, he's going to go to third, but whoa! And nobody's covering anyway. Backpedaling was Kennedy. Too late.
When Bono strikes on Lofton. 1-1. On deck is Aurelia. We got the base hit in front of the 2-out, 2-run home run by Kent back in the 6th. It's given the Giants a little breathing room. They'd like more, and Lofton trying to provide it. 8-4 in the 7th inning. And misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. Snow at third, Bell at second. Giants trying to take game 5 before the series goes south to Anaheim. The 2-1. Ripped. Deep right field. Salmon back at the wall. It's off the wall. 2 runs are going to score. Lofton digs for third. He's held there, and it's a 6-run Giants lead. Snow had to pick Darren Baker up, and thankfully got him out of the way with Bell bearing down on home plate. And thank goodness that J.T. Snow was aware and got Darren Baker out of the way. Goodness. Ben Weber knocked out here in the 7th. It's a 10-4 Giants lead here in game 5. First pitch from Scott Shields is in for a strike. Here's a guy who has not appeared since the regular season. There are the numbers. 5-3, good ERA of 2.20. 29 games out of the bullpen for the Angels. Makes his first postseason appearance. Infield is in. It's a 10-4 game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sean Wooten takes over at first. He'll bat ninth. And the pitcher Shields is in the number 6 spot where Spezio was. That'll get out of play. Strike 2. Shields trying to slow down the Giants, who have come up with 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th on a booming triple by Kenny Lofton. A strikeout for the 2nd out of the inning. It is really incredible, Tim, how aware J.T. Snow was when he crossed the plate on this triple by Kenny Lofton to recognize that Darren Baker, who's only 3 years old, was standing almost in the direct line. Look at this shot between David Bell and home plate.
Well, fortunately, J.T. Snow didn't have to run hard home, so he was able to be aware. Dusty, J.T. clapping fists. Dusty saying, you got to watch. He's only 3 years old. That could have been a very damaging thing that happened around home plate.
Jeff Kent now with a runner at third. Lofton 2 out. Kent trying to get his feel at the plate. He's walked and scored, doubled and scored, and hit an important 2-out, 2-run home run in the 6th inning. Now he bats in the 7th for the Giants, who have never led by more than 6. Up by 6 again, a chance for more. Two balls and a strike. Last inning. Off Ben Weber, front row, and a 4-run lead, which is now 6. With 2 down, 3 balls and a strike. After Kent, it's Bonds. After Bonds, Santiago. Three-1 to Kent. Full count. Foul ball caught somebody down in the end of the dugout. So Kent takes a moment, and they tend to whoever was hit by that bouncing ball into the third base dugout. Appears to be okay. His action will start for the Giants in their bullpen now. Scott Air. Runner at third, 2 out, 3-2 pitch is popped up right side. And it's out of play. The Giants won game 1 of this World Series 4-3. They lost game 2 after overcoming at one point a 5-0 deficit to lead 9-7. The final was 11-10. And then the series shifted here to San Francisco, a 10-4 win in game 3 for Anaheim. The Giants pulling out a 4-3 win last night with a run in the 8th and leading 10-4 in the 7th inning, game 5, and Kent gets another one to left. Jeff Kent heating up. 12-4 Giants. Now with 2 out, Bonds takes a ball.
The last time a 2-run home run on a breaking ball, and this time a 2-run home run on a fastball.
Bonds. Shields coming right after him. A ball and a strike. The Giants' top 4 hitters are now 9 out of 17. Shields took something off. Strike 2. About the only thing missing tonight for the Giants is a Bonds home run. Number 4 on the all-time list. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bonds with a pair of doubles tonight. He scored twice, driven in 1 run. Up the middle, under the glove of Eckstein. That's the shortstop on the other side of the bag, and Bonds has been on base 4 times with 3 hits and a walk.
Up until about 4 years ago, the conventional wood used in bats of the major league level was ash. Barry Bonds uses a bat made of maple. It's a denser wood. Has he ever put some dents in it over the last 2 years?
Santiago. A piece of ash in his hands. Comes up empty, strike 1.
When Barry Bonds gets a ball in the middle of the plate, it is rare that he doesn't put the good part of the bat on the ball. He may pop it up. Made in Canada.
Big rip by Santiago. No balls, 2 strikes. Fourth time a team has scored 10 or more runs in this World Series. It's the 2nd time that's happened in World Series history. That 1960 year that we highlighted last night. The Yankees scored all kinds of runs but lost in Game 7 on the Mazeroski home run. In the hands of the Pirates. The 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Even with Tim Worrell in the on-deck circle, next on that lineup card for Mike Scioscia. The Angels are going after Santiago with a 12-4 score. Two and 2. Kent all over the place tonight with a walk, a double, and 2 2-run home runs. Full count and Bonds will go. Bonds ready like he's taken off in a sprint. A jog. get him to second while Eckstein takes care of Santiago at first. 8 men to the plate in the 7th inning. Kent with his second 2-run home run of the night. We go to the 8th inning of Game 5. All San Francisco tonight now, 12-4. 8th inning, bottom part of the order for Anaheim. That means Kennedy, Molina, and Wooten. This is Game 5, and the Giants on their way to a victory. That would put San Francisco 1 win away from the first World Series championship for this franchise since 1954. It would obviously be the first one for the San Francisco Giants. Moved out here in '58. Lost to the Yankees in '62, lost to the A's in the Earthquake series of '89. 2 balls, no strikes from Morel to Kennedy. Willie Mays has been asked 100 questions during this World Series. He's been available. Reno on Kennedy.
With the remarkable year that Willie Mays had in '54 and the remarkable career that Willie Mays had, that was his only World Series appearance. 2 dozen.
He's next on the list in front of Barry Bonds, his godson. He talked about, you know, if this Giants team wins the World Series, then Barry's got nothing on him. That's a strike. It's a full count. We'll go back to that graphic and give you a chance to take another look at it. 4 career World Series appearances for Mays, but the only title in '54. Same for Leo DeRocher. His only title. 587 home runs in the first 17 seasons. That's the mark that Bonds has hit this year. He's at 613.
Willie Mays in the World Series in '51, '54, '62, and then 1973 with the Mets.
Easy for JT Snow, and the leadoff man is gone in the 8th. 612 regular season home runs later, here he is on this Giants team, and at the end of tonight will likely be only 1 win away from a world championship, as this series will move back to Anaheim for Game 6 on Saturday night.
The New York Yankees were 1 game away from a World Series championship when they went to Phoenix last year, and the Diamondbacks blew out the Yankees in Game 6. That remarkable finish in Game 7 when Luis Gonzalez won it for the D-backs. Angels are hopeful that the same thing happens for them.
Fastball, fly ball, right center, Shinjo, 2 out. Morel has retired all 5 Angel hitters he's faced. Game 7 of the 2001 World Series. It just did catch the outfield grass off the bat of Luis Gonzalez, who, by the way, is here watching this World Series. Last year's hero. Luis Gonzalez hurt in the final week of the regular season. Hurting his shoulder. Got an operation on the shoulder. Says he's feeling a lot better, but unfortunately for the Diamondbacks, their biggest bat, their biggest threat, was not in their lineup in their 3-game series sweep at the hands of St. Louis. Wooten is first at bat of the night. Nothing but strikes from Tim Worrell after running the count 3-0 on Kennedy, who eventually grounded out to first to start this 8th inning.
When the Diamondbacks went back to Phoenix last year, no team could have been more disheartened with the losses that they suffered at the hands of the Yankees in games 4 and 5.
Up the middle off the bat of Wooten. He has a 2-out hit.
A 2-run home run to tie it in the 9th inning by Tino Martinez. And then the next night, the Yankees won that game on a home run by Derek Jeter. That was game 4 at Yankee Stadium. And then in game 5, Scott Brosius with a 2-run home run off the same pitcher, Young-Hum Kim. And Kim came back this year to have a good year. Devastating. And yet the Diamondbacks prevail.
Here's Eckstein. He's been on base 3 times and chipped in with an RBI ground out. One of my most favorite shots that we had at the end of the World Series last year was the look of relief on the face of Young-Hum Kim and the way his teammates supported him and gathered around him. I think had a lot to do with him having enough confidence to come back and put together a solid year in the bullpen for Bob Brenly.
I remember a line by William Roden, a columnist for the New York Times. He wrote, "Gloom is a universal language." And it certainly was for Young-Hum Kim, the first Korean to ever appear in a World Series.
2 balls and a strike on Eckstein. It's a 12-4 San Francisco lead, top of the 8th. Game 6 on Saturday night, 7:30. We will hit the air Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific. Russ Ortiz, Kevin Appier, the scheduled starters. Both pitchers struggled in game 2. That's fouled. Back toward the dugout, and Santiago is just out of room. Ortiz lasted only an inning and 2/3 in game 2. And even with a 5-0 lead, Appier lasted only 2. Pitched into the 3rd, didn't retire man. Allowed 5 runs on 5 hits, while Ortiz, who grew up close to Anaheim, allowed 7 runs on 9 hits. The Angels won that game. The 8th inning home run by Salmon, 11-10. The matchup for Saturday night. Right now, it's a matchup of Tim Worrell and David Eckstein. And a fastball takes care of Eckstein and the Angels in the 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning, the Giants will bat, cruising here in game 5 now, leading by 8. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning. A couple of changes. Alex Ochoa takes over in right field for Tim Salmon. And Jose Molina is now behind the plate. In there in place of his brother Benji Molina. Pedro Feliz is off the bench to bat for Tim Worrell, who pitched 2 scoreless innings. Our Sprint Virtual Manager question: can the Angels still win this series? We ask you, and you can vote now using PCS Vision Sprint or log on to foxsports.com. Two balls and a strike on Pedro Feliz. Shields back to work, and it's 2-2. Scott Air, it appears, will come on and work in the 9th. Feliz pops it up. Alex Ochoa just into the game. 1 away. Tim Worrell ends up going 2 innings. No runs, only 1 hit, 2 strikeouts.
He has just been terrific all year long for the Giants. And again tonight, a guy Brian Sabian says was the biggest surprise of his acquisitions over the last 5 years. The job that Worrell has done.
Traded here from Chicago for Bill Miller, a popular third baseman, who actually ended up back with the Giants at the end of the regular season after the roster deadline, but helped San Francisco down the stretch when they finished 95 and 66, 3.5 games up on Los Angeles in the wild card race. Giants record was 2.5 games short of Arizona. Diamondbacks won the West. That's fine. Seems like Snow is still a little gimpy on that left knee where he took that foul ball 2 at bats ago.
After that swing, limping across home plate. It's still bothering him. It's the left leg that he hit with that foul ball, and very, very sore.
A 2-2 pitch with 1 out.
Sleep in November.
That is a familiar refrain that we've heard from one clubhouse to the next. Base hit to right by Snow. His second hit tonight. Been on base 3 times. Our game summary brought to you by John Hancock. The Giants put up 6 runs in the first 2 innings. The Angels made it a game in the 5th and 6th. But the Giants went back to work. Jared Washburn lasting only 4 innings. Schmidt only 4 2/3. That was a surprise. Santiago's had a nice night. Nobody's had a bigger evening than Jeff Kent. And what a time for him to get his swing. Leading into the weekend in Game 6 on Saturday night in Anaheim. And at the bottom, one sunken taco target. There it goes. If you were counting on a free taco at some point this year, your chances are sinking. 1 on, 1 out. Good breaking ball. So much movement. It needed a choreographer. Out of the right hand of Shields, who has pitched only once this entire postseason, and after coming in a tight spot, picked up a strikeout of Aurelia last inning, but Kent popped him for a 2-run home run. That's foul. And it's still 1-2.
It has been a chorus line of Giants crossing home plate tonight. I'll tell you that. 12 runs on 14 hits for the Giants. One singular sensation tonight.
Bob Fosse-esque. They don't bother to hold against Snow over at first. He doesn't want to run. Not only is he not going to run, with that leg, he doesn't want to run. That's foul again. Still 1-2. Into the pocket of the left field umpire, Tim Cheetah. And that draws a reaction from the crowd. Somebody over there wanted a souvenir, and they're not going to get it. Another wide sweeping breaking ball, and the count 2-2 as Bell's able to lay off. Mike Scioscia really described Scott Shields to us tonight for the first time. There he is in the game, kind of a three-quarter style pitcher. Doesn't blow you away with velocity, but has that good breaking ball. Wow. Thank goodness for Shields. He was able to get out of the way of that rocket back up the middle. 2 on, 1 out. That will make you swallow your gum.
Ben Weber with a line drive back through the box that went between his legs, and Shields almost needed one.
Another line drive off the bat of David Bell, who hitting in the number 8 spot. Came into this game 304 in the postseason. He's easy to overlook in this lineup, but boy, has he come up with some important hits for the Giants. 2 tonight. Plus, he's been hit by a pitch and driven in a run with a bases loaded walk. Valuable guy to have hitting 8th. Shinjo is hitting 9th, batting with 2 on, 1 out. And another breaking ball is hit past Gloss at third. Snow is going to come to the plate. The throw by Anderson is not in time. Snow safe, and it's 13-4 San Francisco.
J.T. Snow is glad to be home. That bad left leg, this ball is under the glove of Gloss, an error on Troy Gloss. I don't know what happened. That ball may have taken a hop to the left, but the throw by Garrett Anderson, a little late, and Snow scores. I'm not too sure Molina held onto the ball. JT was going to third, almost as though he were holding up, but he just tags home plate with his hand. Nice slide right there.
Last night, it was written about in the papers today, an awkward slide, expecting contact from Benji Molina when he scored the game's winning run. Across the plate, kind of dug his two knees into the dirt past home plate, and he is still having trouble with that area, the outside part of his left knee.
And that was
that foul ball.
That was a very dangerous slide last night.
Lofton is hitting line drives all over the place. This is tonight's slide. Athletic slide, diving that left hand onto home plate. And last night, looking to lower his shoulder, Benji Molina moves away, and then it was two knees into the dirt. Lofton to the right side. Nice play. Kennedy to his left. 2 out. Think about the replays we've shown you with JT Snow. And then to go back to that play that he made in Anaheim, slipping in foul territory, falling flat on his back, and getting up, making a catch to retire Salmon.
So his lower back is taking a beating. Both knees in last night's slide. And then the foul ball off the left leg above the knee. Sleep in November.
Runners on at second and third, 2 out. Here's Rich Aurelian. Into left field. Did he get enough? Back at the wall. Home run Aurelia. 3-run shot, 16-4. Giants have tied a World Series record for most home runs in a series, tying the 1956 Yankees with their 12th. 16-run scoring tonight ties a club World Series record as a strike is poured in to Jeff Kent. The look by Shields, Tim, was a look of astonishment that that ball got out. The way Aurelia hit it, but as you pointed out in this series, the ball carries well to left.
Yeah, carries well to left in the left center. And Shields, that's the look right there. The look of all.
Into left field, Anderson into his right, and Kent is retired to end the 8th. The Giants having fun, and so are their fans. Their last chance to cheer the National League champions. Pounding the Angels in Game 5. Trying to take a 3-2 series advantage, up 16-4. Look at all those runs. 16 on 16 hits for the Giants. 4 runs on 10 hits for Anaheim. And we are now into the 9th inning. Shinjo moves to center field. Tom Goodwin is inserted in right. Lofton's out for the rest of the evening. And Scott Air is on the mound. And a strike to Darren Erstad. Unscored upon in 8 games for Scott Air. Air picked up midseason. He's filled a role as the late inning left-handed reliever. We talked about it earlier in the World Series. The Giants suffered a big loss when Jason Christensen went down. An arm injury, had to undergo Tommy John surgery, and Air is trying to step into that spot. And he's done well with it. Erstad tried to hold up. He didn't. And there's one out here in the 9th inning. Erstad strikes out. Our all-state good hands defensive play of the game was J.T. Snell recognizing that Darren Baker was in the way of David Bell coming to the plate, sweeping him away. And Dusty Baker thankful that J.T. was aware. He says, "Thank you, JT." A rather scary moment, and what was a big moment for the Giants. That was in the 7th. One out, nobody on, no balls, one strike on Alex Ochoa, his first at bat. One and one. The Giants tonight tied for the second most in World Series history with their 16 runs scored. The 12 home runs in the series is a National League World Series record. It ties the overall World Series record of the 56 Yankees. Ochoa goes down to get it, flies it to Goodwin in right, 2 down. The Giants are now 1 out away from taking a 3-2 series lead, going to Anaheim for Game 6 on Saturday night. Except for those of you on the West Coast, stay tuned for your late local news. For those viewers in Los Angeles area interested in continued post-game coverage, turn to your regional Fox Sports Net affiliate. It's the scorer's discretion as to who gets the win in tonight's game, and right now the scorer is saying Chad Zerbe, who went an inning and 2/3. Anderson grounds to Kent. Finning, he would assist on the final out, and the Giants win Game 5 16-4.